pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I just want you to know that 2 days, yesterday was the 71st anniversary of where I raised my right hand. And
Get out of town.
Yeah, man.
All
That was sharp.
Congratulations. Good for you.
All right, roll call.
Schwab. Ramey.
Here.
Snyder.
Here.
Jankowski.
Here.
Martini. Newman.
Here.
Martini.
Martini's not here.
And Newman.
Yes.
Jennings.
Here.
Clark.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to excuse Mr. Martini.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Good, okay, any items that we want to add to the agenda?
If I can show Kyle how to use this thing, I don't have to carry it out again.
So is that the, what is
Oh,
that?
the pump?
That's the pump.
Well, did you want to show that to the community?
Yeah, he can even focus in on it.
Yeah, we can do that
Okay.
10F.
So, okay, we'll add that.
That way I don't have to carry it out, as I said.
Jerry, did you have some other things you wanted to talk about as well? Like, did you want to talk about some of the muck-related issues?
I would like to.
Okay, we can add that, just an update
I may
on,
even want to talk about the Open Meetings Act, but
yeah, I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, we should, for clarification, what David posted about that.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. So we talked about the Open Meetings Act as well.
Yeah.
So an update on the muck removal and the utilization of the pump, right?
So
Okay.
it's 10G for muck and 10H for open meetings? Okay.
Okay.
Make a motion, we add muck to the conversation of item 10G, and then the discussion on the Open Meeting Act to item 10H.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, sounds good. So, approval of the minutes. So as you know, last month's meeting, we had to cancel since we did not have a quorum. So I just want to see if we can get approval for the minutes from the July 16th, 2025 meeting.
I got one. Continuing business, the harvester discussion. Schloff said he heard from the state and advised. I'd like that to say was advised. I do not advise that we do what the state says. The state advised it, not me. Okay, can you put was in there?
All right, anything else?
Picayune, but I read that.
That's all right.
Make a motion to approve agenda minutes with the
Second.
change that Slash just pointed out.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, call to the public. So we did get one complaint that I'll share with everyone momentarily, but I would like to recognize last month, as I mentioned, we did not have the official meeting, but we did have one of the residents stop by, Mrs. Susanna Hollier, and contrary to what we usually get in the call to the public, she actually came here to praise the Water Management Board for our volunteer work and the things, the good things.
Can we get
do
her
in the
back
lake.
here every
Yeah,
month?
right.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
but
had to see it, man.
anyway, Mrs. Hollier, if you're listening, thank you very much.
Thank you very
Really
much,
appreciate
madam.
the kind words.
Thank you.
Okay, and then the next one, we just received a few days ago a complaint about the weed issue from a Roseanne Brisby at 750 Wolverine Drive. And her comments are as follows. I would like to express my utter disappointment with the condition of the lake this year. I have never seen so many weeds in the water in the years I've lived here, especially 30 to 40 feet from the shoreline. In other years, you could walk 30 feet or so into the water with minimal weeds. This year, our PWC's intake would gather so many weeds leaving from the shore, we would have to shut it down and clean it out. Our boat would return to shore with weeds ensnared in the propeller. I read and heard that the harvester had some issues this year at times and was unable to be used, but I think the harvester may have only been part of the problem. It didn't seem like there were as many lake treatments this year. Maybe it was that. I wrote a couple of years ago and complained on condition of the lake. It was the best I had ever seen it afterwards. But this year, quite the opposite. I certainly hope the lake condition improves next year. So, yeah, to that point, so Aaron and I were trying to look to see the number of treatments that we have had this year. And we found 3, May 20th, June 10th, July 15th, and there was one, we believe, also in August that may not be captured on that link. But it does appear that it may be fewer than we've had in the past years. We will have Progressive here, I believe, at the last meeting of the year, that will give us a summary of their findings of the lake. And certainly at that time, we can address that with them to see if there were a fewer number of treatments this year. But to Ms. Brisby, you are correct. The Harvester did have multiple breakdowns this year, and certainly I don't know if that was a result of all the problems, which it probably was not, but we did have some challenges with the Harvester this year. But we will be sure to address this with Progressive when we speak to them next time to see what can be done and remedied next year to see if we can minimize that issue.
Well, and the discussion that we're going to have about the muck removal and the brainstorming on draining the lake and things like that, I think would, maybe not this year, but next year, make a large impact. So.
And also, we'll get to the Eco Harvester too.
Yeah.
We'll see if that, if we're even able to proceed with that, if that might have some positive effect as well. But we certainly will follow up on that topic. New business. Any new business items?
I don't think so. I don't.
Okay. Administrative report. The current lake level, I checked, is .038 inches below normal, so I guess that's about as close as you can get to being spot on at this time of the year. So that's good news. One thing I wanted to share as well, Ryan asked me to bring this to everyone's attention, that he actually made a device. I don't know how he made it, but he made a device that taps into the HoboLink, which is the device that measures the lake water temperature and height. It monitors the lake level, and then it checks it 48 hours prior to any inclement weather that's expected to come. And this device will automatically email Ryan and Andy Stone if there's a probability that the lake level may exceed the desired level due to any sort of upcoming rain. You may recall last year we had a few big thunderstorms that dumped quite a bit of water in the lake, and that pushed the lake level way over the limit for approximately 6 days. So we're hoping that this new device now will prevent that by giving us an alert to any sort of oncoming weather that could cause such problems. So thanks, Ryan. I'd be curious.
Yeah.
He said he made this thing.
That's right. He's an engineer, right?
That's right. We'll have to have him bring it in and show it to give us a demonstration. But anyway, that's a good thing for us to have.
Yeah.
No, I talked about, sorry, I batted out of order. There's noteworthy complaints to the village. Sorry, I jumped ahead on that one, but.
You're forgiven.
Okay. So chairperson's report and general communications to the board. The last key calendar date review. So the last day of the treatment was actually Labor Day weekend. So yeah, so we did have a treatment then end of August, early September. So I'll add that one to the list as well. The Harvester, it is up and running and has been for the past couple of weeks, but the last date for the Harvester to run will be October 10th. I'm sorry, October 12th. And then the lake drawdown will begin on October 31st. I think we're going to get to fish stocking in a moment, but I had a date on here of October 30th, but I don't know if that's accurate.
I've got all kinds of, I got a good report for you.
You do? Okay. Oh, a good report. That's a good thing.
A pretty substantial report. So.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's see, continuing business, the bird count. We addressed the bird count at the July meeting, so no need to do that today. The fish stocking, so I guess
Yep.
you're on, Jim.
So,
Tell us something good.
Yeah, so obviously I haven't been around. I'm glad to be back. Change in my professional life and switched it back to what I'm more accustomed to, so I'm back in business. So In that time, I maintained contact with Sarah at the DNR, who's been advising me in the time I've been on the board about the lake. And they have the data from the fish survey they did many years ago, and I've tried to encourage them every time I talk to, hey, we'd love to have you back out. But apparently, it's just like they have like a cycle throughout all the inland public lakes, and they get around to do them, so it's not like you request them to come, they go around, but I'm in their ear all the time because I think that would be really valuable for us, because they're still alarmed, like when I talked to them from the last one, the makeup of our lake being the majority of it 5 feet or less. So obviously, some of the weed conversation you had, what I get from them is a little contrary to what people desire. I'll get to that in a minute. But they're still concerned with our panfish population is stunted. So they say that that is a big indication of what's going on in the lake. That's indicative of spawning areas don't exist for predator fish because there's too much competition amongst the panfish for them to grow. Normally the predator fish keep that weeded out, but they say like more than likely it's probably a lack of good spawning for like your pike and bass. They say they don't worry so much because they do well in like shallow areas, so they said no need to stock those. In fact, if we put more bass in, they'll start competing with themselves and then they will become stunted as well. So they don't advise bass. Pike,
Jim, what do you refer when you say panfish?
bluegill,
Oh.
mostly that's all we have. Crappie, we have some crappie. I see tiny perch in the winter, but I never see them at all in the summer. Like, I mean, and when I see them in the winter, I'm talking like tiny. So I don't know what the deal is with those guys. I never even see them in the summer. But that's panfish, bluegill, crappie.
Okay.
And when they did the last survey, 75% of the fish they pulled out were bluegill, but of that 75%, like 90 of them were below like the average size.
Yeah.
So that's what they're concerned with. So they still recommend stocking walleye for now every other year. They don't want to do it every year because they will compete with themselves and we'll lose them. Back to the weed conversation, when I talked to Sarah at the DNR, they're concerned about, like if you're the fish management and the weed management, she says you gotta be careful because pike in particular are one of the better predator fish to keep the fanfish under control, and they spawn in underdeveloped shoreline weed beds, which, I mean, that's the ones that are within 30 feet. So when we're taking them out, we're kind of taking away the spawning areas for some of the predator fish. So, but she said like in the fish surveys they've done, our pike population in our lake fluctuates. Like some years it's good, some it's bad.
Yeah.
So maybe that coincides with people being happy with the weeds being gone and then the weeds are bad. So maybe next year like our pike population will be better since the weeds are not great. She says walleye tend to do, our numbers for those indicate that they're doing well. When we stock them, they stick around. So I called Imlay City Fish Farm, which is the group that did our stocking 2 years ago. Did not put an official order in without approval, but I told them, I said, hey, we're gonna be interested in another $2,500 walleye stocking. So she said they'll create the order. They don't have them currently in. She says when they come in, she'll let me know. So between the time they come in and we just need an approval from the board, and then I can tell them it's a go-ahead, and then when they get them delivered, they'll come put them in our lake.
So it'd be only walleye, and how many did they?
Well, we approved 2,500, and I think last time that got us like 1,000 fingerling.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. And the DNR says you don't want to do, I forget the formula, but there's like a formula, number of fish per like acres of your lake. So 1,000 is about where we want to be for our lake. Because again, she says you got to be, that's why you don't, I didn't know. I mean, my first thing would be like, just put more in, the better it is. But if you think about like what an ecosystem can hold,
Competing.
if you stock every year, they're going to compete with themselves and
They're not gonna grow.
they're not going to grow. And we're going to end up with the same situation we are for our panfish. So depending on the direction the board wants to go, all it would take is an approval from the board, and I will contact the Imlay City Fish Farm and tell them to go ahead with the order, and then when they get, I don't know where they get them, but when they get them delivered there, they'll come put them in our lake just like they did before.
Okay. And if I recall, didn't they also recommend that we stock every other year?
Yeah, and this is the every other year.
Yeah.
They want us to, we had talked about like the fish stick program, and they were never really clear exactly what that is. The more I talk to them about it, it doesn't seem like you don't build anything elaborate. It almost seems like you just take downed trees and put them on the shoreline. Now, the problem they said for us is huge percentage of our lake has developed shoreline.
Right.
It doesn't do well. We got to find areas where the shoreline isn't developed, and then that's where we would focus like this fish habitat to go. So I was looking at a map of the lake. Most of that underdeveloped is either like in swimming areas,
Yeah.
or private property. So we would have to see if anyone would be willing to let us put basically a downed tree.
Well, I don't know if you remember a couple years ago, I think it was, when we had those storms, there was a big tree that did fall into the lake near Mallow Beach. You remember that big tree that was just kind of sitting there? I thought, wow, that's perfect for the fish habitat.
It really is.
But we removed it.
Oh, because they said like all those, particularly like those, like the panfish and stuff, they will create a habitat around those down areas.
Yeah.
And it'll allow them, to stay away from the predator fish, to grow, spawn better. And then when they look at our shoreline, most of it is like seawall.
Yeah.
And then with our harvesting program, they think like that could be some of the issues with our panfish population, because we don't have the best spawning area for the predator fish.
So that fish stick thing doesn't substitute for a down tree or something like that? Is it
I
still?
mean, down tree would definitely help.
Well, right.
Like, it's basically the
Paul's got a
same
big tree,
thing.
we could chop it down later.
Yeah,
today,
what the heck?
but-
I mean, I tried the down trees, they just kept falling on my house instead of in the water, so
Yeah.
like, I wasn't much.
Wouldn't the area right by Benstein there be considered undeveloped?
That's what I wondered.
I did see, like, I took my boat down there is a
Yeah.
bunch of, like, in the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that direction, but like,
And
the
there's some
top left
islands
of
there
that map.
that, I mean,
that's
all
where-
of that would be shoreline.
Yeah, that would be, there are some
undeveloped.
houses, like,
Yeah, there's, yeah.
over here on the bottom there.
Sure.
But I did
Sure.
notice,
Yeah, you got houses through here and here,
Yeah.
but all of this, and these are islands. And that's all lily pads.
No one even approaches that area, so
Yeah,
it's really
unless you're
undisturbed.
Yeah,
kayak.
it's too shallow.
Yeah.
It is shallow. But I'm not saying we don't need more of them. Obviously, we don't have enough to do what we need done.
their
for
point
the
was
fish.
that, like, to create like a down tree, or they make manufactured like fish trees. To put them on a developed shoreline, they said is almost counterproductive, so. But I mean, it's something, that would be in the every other year, like, we're on a fish stocking cycle this year. Next year, instead of stocking, that would be an undertaking for us to do, is to try to create better habitat.
Habitats, okay.
Yeah, so that would be a discussion for next year.
All right.
This year, we're definitely on cycle for a stocking, and like I said, I got that in motion. We would just need approval to go forward with it.
Yeah.
So then, Aaron, so we'll just need to get a quote from them and then,
Well, I mean,
Vote
you
on
can make
it here.
you can make a motion,
Last year, they just approved the amount,
Yeah.
because we already budgeted, I think, $5,000 this year now, we doubled it, because we
Yeah.
weren't sure if
and I
we're,
thought about, like,
Gonna
they
need
said,
more.
like, to double it would
Yeah.
be counterproductive.
But since we have a budget for $5,000, would it be productive to put 2,500 towards fish and then 2,500 towards fish sticks?
And the problem is, I don't know where, like, in my conversation with them, it's not like there's a company that, like, sells these. I'm trying to get more information on what that entails. Like I said, like, they send me all kinds of literature on, like, the benefit of them, but I haven't found any literature in terms of, like, do I purchase this? Do I build this? Do I just cut a tree down and drag it in? So it's called a fish stick program, but it's not necessarily like, I mean,
Something you
at
could
this point, there's not a product called
Right.
like a fish stick. And
No,
they have done it. When I talked to Sarah, she put me in touch with another gentleman. He ran some of these programs on some private lakes. you know, and he said he had great success, but I'm like, well, can I get you out here? And then it just gets disjointed, because like, he'll get put in the field, like Sarah's always contact. The other gentleman, like, he'll contact me, but then he's in the field for a month, or, you know, he goes and works on the lake. So I'm trying I would love to get him to come explain exactly what that would look like.
I mean, would he consider coming to the next meeting to give us a
Yeah,
education?
if I can get him to come.
Or if he could
He's-
consult, because I mean, there's a half a dozen places on the lake. We got
Yep.
the canals, we've got several spots where there aren't homes. And there's plenty of people knocking down trees,
I will,
drag a tree
I
out
will,
there.
I will
They
reach
just
out
hauled
again.
one out in front of the
and,
apartments
you know,
that was
see
in the
if,
water for how
Yeah.
long? Yeah.
Yeah,
Does it have, do the trees have to be in shallow areas, or, you know, we got 45 feet deep?
That doesn't do it, like, there's described to me that like the spawning areas, we're trying to increase spawning areas.
Yeah.
So the spawning areas are in like shallow shoreline
Shallow.
areas, they don't spawn in the 30, 40 foot holes. From my
we
understanding.
got a few of those spots.
But I think it's a great idea, like if we could,
It's where the wake
you know,
boats
if we
go.
could
Yeah.
take care of the fish stocking, because like we want to make sure we get that order in, so like when the fish arrive, we get first dibs on them. And then with the 2,500, I can continue to investigate, you know, I mean, there's no timeline on
The
when
fish
we would,
sticks.
I mean, the ice, I mean, that'd probably be a problem.
Right.
But, you know, fall, summer, whenever, if we can get some advice on the best place to put them and what it would entail,
Yeah.
and then fit that into our budget, I mean, there's no reason why we couldn't take that initiative as well.
Could use the ice to our advantage if we indeed end up doing something like trying to move tree fall to someplace on the lake. If
Yeah,
The lake's
just
frozen.
put it out there and
It's gonna
let
be
it-
a lot easier to move it out there on the ice and let it fall in than it is to try and drag
I
it
know
out there
some
with a
ice
boat.
fishermen, not me, but they take their Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Every year they take it and they
Stick
put
it
it
in the hole,
down
yeah.
to draw like the fish. You know, they create like the habitat under their shank.
Oh, is that what they did it? Oh, I thought they were just marking the spots and nobody fell in the hole.
Well, me too. It's
I
like
mean, I know
on a
the
snowmobile.
spears do,
Yeah.
because they've got like the big hole, you could literally fall in.
Yeah.
So they mark it sometimes with trees, but when it falls in, then it creates like a habitat.
I see.
Like my uncle used to live on Bush Lake in Holly, and they would all take their Christmas trees out on the ice and just let them fall in and then go fish over them in the summer.
Create more muck.
Right.
There you go.
They create more muck.
Muck.
Yeah.
Well, I think the weeds are more your muck than the
Yeah.
wood.
So anyway, I would ask the board for approval of the $2,500 to go through with the order with the Imlay Fish Farm.
Okay, so
Need a motion?
make a motion to approve 1,000 walleye?
It's 2,500, whatever that entails.
I think we're just approving the money, and then whatever the fish amount would be.
Okay.
Like up to 25. So if the
Right.
price for whatever, if we can only get 800 for 2,500, we would get 800.
Right.
You know, if we can get 1,000 for 2,100, then that's all it would be.
Okay, so make a motion to approve $2,500 for fish stocking, and based on the recommendations of the vendor that we're working with?
Sarah of the DNR made the recommendation.
No. All right.
Ooh, I think he said but he's talking about the vendor.
The vendor didn't recommend the amount. The DNR
Right.
recommended the amount.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take your motion? All right, I'll second motion.
All in
Second
favor?
All in
Oh,
favor.
Phil?
Do you need any clarification on
You
it?
want me to- Schlaf? You want to vote?
Oh, I did.
Yes.
I did.
No, it's gotta be.
Oh, we gotta go,
It's gotta be-
Yeah, do a roll call.
Hey, yeah.
Frank?
Yeah.
Snyder?
Approved.
Jankowski?
Yes.
Newman?
Yes.
Jennings?
Yes.
Clark?
Yes.
Thanks, Jim.
All right, I'll contact
Yeah.
them tomorrow and make sure our order is in and we get first dibs on those. I will also try to find out when they're coming to do it, because I know me personally, like, I would love to watch. Like, I missed it last time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I've watched videos on it, they just bring up like a tanker truck.
And it's
They
just
put
like
the
a
hose and they
tube,
just
yeah.
shoot them out. Like, I'd like to see that.
Well, maybe when you find out, you can post it on the website.
Yeah,
too.
that'd be cool.
Others
Oh, yeah.
might be interested in seeing it. I'd like
Oh,
to see
yeah,
it
or
as well.
even on the Wolverine Lake Facebook page.
Sure, sure.
Fish going in.
Very good. Great, well,
Good
thanks,
report,
Jim.
Jim.
Yeah,
Making an event out of it.
you did a lot of work while you were on vacation.
I watched a lot of bad basketball the last year.
Well, good, well, thank you very much for
You're
that.
welcome.
10C is plant control and invasive species. I don't think we have anything to discuss on that. Again, we'll hopefully have Progressive come in, maybe at our next, is our last meeting usually October or is it November?
Am I discussing
It was
here?
November last
I
time.
think it's November.
It is November, right? Yeah. So,
I've been looking at plant control and invasive species. And as you've all read, I think I contacted 3 companies. And they can provide plant control and muck control and invasive species. 2 of them want $7,000 plus a fee. So one of them wants $350 a year for muck capsules. And then I put a big thing, and I've been working on it in my place. I've been removing plants. Eagle's not listening.
You can remove plants in front of your own place legally.
All right, son of a
You've
gun.
got rakes for them.
I got it.
Is that cool or what?
I have a rake that I bought, and I ended up, this is for everybody, I ended up with a garden rake and with a leaf rake, and you put it in the water, the leaf rake, you put it in the water, and get the milfoil, and you pick up slowly, and it leaves all the silt there, and then you throw it either into the box you got floating or up on shore, and you spread it out, and in 2 days,
It dries right out.
lawnmower just goes right over it. You don't- I found that out. I didn't intend to do that.
Okay.
I had it up on shore, and somebody came in and mowed, oh, that works pretty good.
Yeah,
But-
thought of that.
But,
but I know you had done some research on a couple of those other services that offer, but we did get some feedback from Jared Laughlin from Progressive.
Yeah,
You saw the
yeah.
email, so I'll just read it for the rest
Yeah.
of the group. So Jared, regarding this topic, he said he wanted to advise caution regarding the use of Ruggiero pods, Ever Blue Lake products, and muck pellets. Their company has observed, Progressive has observed the application of these products across the state, and the results have been highly variable, particularly in open lake environments where success has often been limited. Much of the supporting data appears to be anecdotal, and in many cases, regular chemical treatments are still required to manage algae and aquatic plant growth effectively. Then he does go on to talk about hand pulling and raking remains the most effective methods for residents to manage their shoreline areas according to their preferences. While some may wish to maintain clear areas for swimming access, others may prefer a more natural shoreline. In general, publicly funded aquatic plant management programs should prioritize shared open water areas beyond docks and swim zones unless invasive species or nuisance algae are present near shore. So I guess it just supports your raking.
raking and hand pulling.
Yeah.
And I threw the muck in, all right?
Yeah.
I was typing to somebody today, and the muck has taken 100 years to get here, 90 years to get here, and if we throw in these tablets for $300, $400 a year, and it takes 10 years, you guys come out to the funeral, to the cemetery, and tell me how it worked, okay? But no, back to, Aaron, don't you have a relative who lives on a canal? No?
We're over by the canal.
Huh?
We're over by the canal.
Oh, you're over the, see, that, Jared says it's particularly not well in open water. Well, it seems like canals would be a great spot to put it in. And if it takes out 2 inches a year of muck or 4 inches a year
6
of
feet of
muck.
muck in my canal. Like, it's really bad.
Well, once again, if we're going to have Progressive here in the next month or two, again, we can bring that up and have Jared address it to see
Okay.
if there are certain areas where it might make sense to do one of those other,
Okay.
those other remedies.
Not to sway either side, but I guess my question always wanders, whether it's good speculation or not, is it something that we should consider that we pay Progressive to chemical treat the lake every year? Is it against, their interest if we're trying to do something different than what than their service?
And that, I know we're gonna talk about it later, but that particular comment, the one that was just read, is one that triggered my concern over open meetings. Because at that point, it wasn't just sharing information that we can read and then talk about when we get here. That started a conversation about the value of what you were putting out there.
Right.
So, and that's a gray area, because Jared isn't a member of this board. But that would invite a conversation but we'll talk about that on open meetings. But that's what triggered it, not your sending the documents. They were helpful.
Okay.
I had another point.
Oh, so sorry.
To Progressive, do they have a conflict here because we're trying to get rid of herbicides? And the guy from the pond guy said, call Casey at Aquaweed. Wait a minute, we're trying to put Aquaweed out of business, but it turns out Aquaweed is the distributor for Muckaway. So, and there's a guy named Casey there, and we have got, I'll bet, 6 phone calls between the two of us. We haven't talked to each other yet, because he calls and I call. But he's interested in talking, and I was hoping we'd have something for tonight's meeting. But, yeah, apparently Aquaweed, sure. But then Jim wants to have weeds near the shore. And this lady over here who wrote the thing, she doesn't want any weeds near the shore. She's the one who should be hand pulling. You write her and tell them that, okay, Rob?
She's probably watching.
She's
you
probably
right there.
I'm on your side, man.
What's your address, Jerry? Give it-
I was afraid when I put my my email address in that thing on the spring newsletter. I said, oh, geez.
Okay, next thing, 10D is the harvester discussion, so I don't know if you got any update for us. I mean, we know,
Yeah.
as I mentioned before, our current harvester is working. Its last day will be next month, but any update on the Eagle harvester? Have we heard back from Eagle, or are they still ghosting us?
I contacted Eagle on May 5th or May 8th, right? Bang, 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 what is it, September 17th? It got turned over to Dave last month, and he's sent emails 4 times. Nothing.
Sounds like Eagle.
Ah, you've been there, yeah?
I have, well, I had to have a recent, since mine was fairly new on the lake, I had to have an approval for my seawall. And they are not quick to action on those things.
So, and that just validates it, yeah? Sure. And it would have been neat if we could have resolved this in like June or July, but now even the guy from Echo Harvester says, no, it's too late in the season. So we've got until next April or something.
To see if Eagle will-
But if we can get an answer out of Eagle in February, we can probably get this resolved, because you people at the council would approve it just like that, right? You just keep thinking,
We'll hear
Jeff.
the case for it. We'll hear the case.
Great answer.
You're trying to put Aaron in a tough situation there.
So we got nothing from Eagle. And so I've quit. I keep looking for more information, and there's some, I just sent back to some guy, you mean you tried the harvester and it broke down all the time, and you tried herbicides, and you tried herbicides and the Echo Harvester, and we use herbicides now. But I don't know when they quit using it, because Echo Harvester had some problems when they first started, first model.
So, did we have to get a permit for our existing harvester when we started using it, or, I know that predates, because even our current one is a replacement of another old one, so.
I would imagine they would have. I mean, I don't know for sure.
Because I guess that's not a question, my question becomes, do we need an Eagle approval to be using a harvester if we're currently using a harvester, whether we change models or not?
I think it depends on the function.
Okay.
As Jerry was mentioning before, the harvester that we currently use cuts the weeds and collects them from a certain level, whereas the harvester being recommended pulls the weeds. So they pulls them out and disturbs the seep.
As opposed to,
lake bed.
as opposed to a wake boat going by.
I agree. I mean,
Yeah.
but, their thing is,
Yeah.
it disturbs the lake bed.
Yeah, no, I was
So-
just questioning, I guess, based on existing,
Yeah.
so.
Well, maybe we'll have more time in January
Yeah, we
to
do.
address our concerns
Yeah.
since everything will be frozen.
I had one thing to ask about the harvester. Now, I had talked with someone who said they hadn't seen the harvester this year, and I said, man, I see that every day. So I checked the map, and the last map we've got updated is the last 10 days of July that I was able to look at. The area in question is over here by Benstein, and I know it's shallow. You know, they're kind of in this area here, you know. And the last time that's listed on the maps, that's online, is a year ago, September 16th through 21st, or September 16th through 27th, 2024.
In those areas there.
In that area for the harvester. So I don't,
You said our last map for this year was July, though?
the last visible online.
I see.
And I talked to these folks last week, they haven't seen it. So I don't know if there's a way that we can recommend based on what we're getting information from the riparians out there. Say, gosh, we have an issue, we'd like to see, get the service of the harvester. I don't know exactly how those areas are selected where the harvester goes to begin with. I would imagine they base it on people telling them, hey, here's where a bunch of weeds is, could you come
Well,
get them?
Progressive does a, don't they do a map?
They do a
Don't they
map.
go out and check, and I think it's based on invasive species, not weed growth.
For the harvester?
Yeah, because the harvester is supposed to only be taking the invasive species, from my understanding, not just any weeds.
How can it
But-
discriminate?
It's magic.
Because you can, I think it's
Growing.
where it's a chunk of milfoil or something like that, is my understanding, is what they're going after instead of, I obviously can't discriminate when it's all mixed together, but you're not going to just any weeds and just pulling it up, natural, or not natural, but, species that are supposed to be here.
There are maps
Wow.
that Progressive puts out that show
Yeah.
where to use the harvester
Yeah,
and where to spray the, I'm from the east side, herbicides, so there.
herbicide, you use the H.
I'm from the east side.
Okay, that explains it.
You didn't have to say it that way.
No, it's a positive thing.
So there is a map for where we run the cutter, and there is a map for where they spray,
Yeah.
and when we get to the echo harvester, we want to do away with the spraying or with the hand pulling to do away with
But if,
herbicides.
well, okay, I guess we need to pay attention to that then, because I didn't realize they were only after invasive species.
I didn't either.
I thought they were, a part of the purpose of the harvester was to help the lake stay, not necessarily weed-free, but a higher quality recreational use lake. Because if you got folks all, they can't be, every time that thing goes out, it can't be just grabbing invasive weeds. And then the other thing is then plucking them out of the ground. How are you gonna tell what you're getting? It's, so,
Discriminatory.
Yeah, but- and that may-
That's,
that may be Progressive's charge, but aren't we the ones that determine what the harvester works on?
It's right
I'm
here.
sorry. Go ahead.
They use these GPS reference points to accurately identify the location.
You should read that out loud so the mic can hear you.
So, in this document that he dug up here, it's talking about the plant control activities, and it says right in here, they use GPS reference points GPS reference points are established along the shoreline and drop-off areas of lake. These waypoints are used to accurately identify the location of invasive and nuisance plant growths. So they're targeting specific, and they list them right on here: milfoil, pondweed, and stonewort. So they use GPS to create a map so that they can go in, and I'm looking right at the map where they've identified it, and I believe that's where they're sending the harvester.
So maybe to the point that was the complaint that they're not invasive
It might
weeds around in
be
that area.
natural weeds that we're not targeting. It's a possibility.
But as was mentioned, it was clean the year before, so
Yeah.
if
I
it just did
think-
more chemical treatments.
Well,
Progressive can best
herbicide.
answer.
Yeah.
well, that also has, our lake, how much weeds we have, is determined by our winter too. That makes sense.
Correct.
Which actually, I feel like it was almost opposite, because the last winter was
I see.
Very
icy, so you would have thought that we would have had less weeds, but in the past winters, there was one winter, it didn't even freeze except for a couple days, and then,
The year before.
yeah, and our lake, I felt like we had like no complaints. I mean, it was, so it's really, I mean, maybe the chemical treatment works better at different temperatures, could be another variable. So I don't know why, and I was trying to see if I can find a map, but
Another variable to consider that would be interesting to ask Progressive is I've noticed like an increase when I pull up my anchor or when like I'm pulling weeds up, way more zebra mussels on all of those than before. And I know in a fact like Lake St. Clair, huge problem with the weed growth there is the zebra mussels filter out the water and they actually make the water clear, which allows the sun to penetrate, which encourages the weed growth. I know on Lake St. Clair, the boaters complained for years about the weeds, and they can narrow it back to just a huge amount of zebra mussels in Lake St. Clair. And there's not a time, like when I'm fishing and I'm fishing in a weed area and pull the anchor up, there's weeds, and there are just tons of zebra mussels in there. So that would be interesting to ask them as well, is if the water clarity is increasing, that means the sun is penetrating deeper down, which is going to encourage more weed growth. So, I mean, there's so many factors that we could gather more information on. If this is, because one thing you brought up that made me think that direction, I don't have the experience you guys do with the effect of the winter, but it was way icier this year than it had been the previous two.
Right.
And that doesn't match up, so it immediately leads you to investigate another possible reason. And I have noticed an abundance or an increase in those zebra mussels.
Yeah.
They're nasty.
Well, I think it would be important to clarify Kyle's statement and make sure that that's the case, because I guarantee you 99% of the people on the shore of this lake feel that the harvester is there to clear the weeds away from, recreational areas. And if that's not the case, then we need to let them know, well, if you've got weeds, there's a limited amount of things we can do. If they're not an invasive species, you're gonna have to learn, you're gonna either have to go out and get your own weeds out of there to what's permissible, or understand that that's part of what you're buying into as a riparian on this lake, is that if there are species of weeds out there that are natural to the environment,
You actually
you're
need
gonna
it.
have to learn to live with that.
So I did find a harvester map, and the area that you were talking about, the south end of the lake by
Yes.
Benstein,
Yes.
the harvester, and this is, granted, this is an older map, this is from, I don't know the exact year, but this, oh, there it is, 2023.
Yeah.
The harvester should be going in that area. I mean, as far as 2023 was concerned, but, and I did, there's also a map that said, Stony Wart, and Milfoil, and those were in the same area.
Okay.
So, I don't know if that's something maybe we need to talk to the operators, and maybe I don't know if they're missing it, or maybe there was an updated map that didn't have the harvester go in that direction, but if people aren't seeing it on that south end, southwest.
Well, like I said, the website indicates, I looked at the maps, that there are for what the harvester's been doing.
Okay.
And the last time they were in that area was last year at this time,
Okay.
September of 2024, so.
I
East on
believe I
the-
live in that area, it's down on Lakeview,
Yeah.
and it's been back and forth
Oh,
a
okay.
number of times. Yeah,
All right.
yeah. And they can't get any closer than 30 feet or 40 feet from shore.
Right.
Well, yeah, they're gonna be running into
Right.
boats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where this lady's talking about, the weeds that are out to 40 feet from shore.
Okay.
And so,
All right.
I have photos, if I can figure out how to send them to you guys, you know, of the Echo Harvester
Okay.
coming in right up against docks.
All right.
Moving in and out.
Okay. Well, that's all I had for that, so need to check more.
Okay. All right, I took some notes on some of the questions to ask Progressive, so I'll get a list together for when we have them for the next meeting. Okay, 10E, lake enforcement issues. I'm not aware of any problems that we've had, or has anyone heard of anything? No? Okay. Next one is 10F, septic field update
Kyle, we're on.
and demonstration.
And mine is still operating, the thing just like that. It's still operating and it doesn't smell. Ask me how I know that.
How do you know that?
Well, that's, you know,
Okay.
I say, Sheila, would you, I'm too old to get down there. Okay. Oh, over here. Oh, wait, you can't have that. These are all set up to show people that.
No, I know, that's, I was saying, so you can say it by the mic so you can talk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that people can hear us.
All right.
You want to hold the other one?
There you go. Sorry to carry that. This is the little compressor used for aerobic treatment. Turn that mic around. Oh, mic around. Yeah. There we go. There. Racing with them, never mind. Oh, this isn't karaoke. Aerobic treatment units have come into vogue as a better way for septic tanks to operate, because it provides air into the tank that promotes aerobic bacteria that destroy a whole lot more stuff, including a lot of nitrogen and some phosphates, and puts out a pretty clear effluent into the septic field. This is the one. It's that size. I've got mine hooked up with an extension cord and sitting over the tank and covered with a styrofoam cooler. And Kyle is going to take this one and try it out in his place. This is a place called Wholesale Septic Supply. Says this is all you need. This is a big fish tank aerator.
It's a diffuser, or I think it's called a diffuser. or
Sounds good to
tumbler.
me.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me. It's all yours, kid.
Okay.
You know, I will be ordering a couple of the little pucks that have aerobic bacteria, and I don't know how they can do that. It looks like a hockey puck, and it's solid. You drop it in the tank every year, and it replenishes the aerobic bacteria. This whole system costs $400 installed, basically. I've got one in my tank that costs $1,500. There are others that cost $6,000. And Kyle's going to tell us if this is the best one eventually, right?
We'll see if it works. Well, sounds like yours is working. Yours is a little bit different, so.
No, I can do this, Can you tell him to do this?
Jerry, that was a mic drop moment. I mean,
Yeah.
So for everyone at home, that the idea of that is to improve our lake quality and to have your septic field healthier and run longer. So if you're worried about hooking up to sewer, you don't have the concerned about the cost of it, because it is an expensive cost. This is something that could potentially extend the life of your septic tank and also improve our water in our lake, and less likely to have beaches closed and things like that. Is something that would just benefit your community and your pocket.
And got a couple reports that say from unbiased people that this sort of stuff will make a central sewage system unnecessary. Not everybody believes that, but I got a couple reports that say it will. And if you can clean up the lake, because even what Mike Powell, the engineer, says, that's the biggest problem you got on your lake is your septic systems.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so we highly recommend it, folks. Call Kyle.
Yeah, yeah. I'd like to just add a reflection on the septic field thing. And I think you recorded it as well. I don't know if you listened to it. Eagle had a Septic Smart webinar.
Yeah.
And one of the things I was just going to add, I didn't realize, for people who have septic field failure or repairs, when the community rules, like I believe Commerce and certainly Wolverine Lake, won't allow you to repair a failed system. There is a loan program. I don't know if it's run by Eagle. I think it's run by the state. It's a septic replacement loan program for people that need that job done for whatever reason, and they can get a loan and have that repaid. So you don't have to wait for us to do our thing. So.
And what I picked up from that meeting is a 1997 EPA report said septic systems are as good as central systems if properly done.
Properly done.
You're going to properly do it. Yeah, there are 158 authorized contractors statewide and Eagle has a list. And we are forced to use one. You went through this.
I did go through this, yeah. No, I said, and maybe I don't know what the follow-up for that should be, if that's something I should do, but there is a lot of authorized contractors out there. We have one that the village, I don't know who mandates that, if that's from Powell or, by the village directly, that we have one contractor, and I know that I actually got recommended to a contractor from, really love to remember at this moment, but it's been a few years now, so I can't remember where I got the recommendation from, but he was a licensed person to do the install on the, the forced sewer system and the grinder pump, and it was almost half of what the, I'll say, recommended install price was. So I don't know if that's something that maybe we should be looking at, or if that's something that I should go and collect data on. I'm happy to go do that, because I'd love to see other people go out and do that if that's a more viable option, because I think it cost $15,000 when I did it.
It was
$18,000 for me, plus electrical.
It was 50, and it depends on the distance from the road, so that's very critical. So and there is an electrical component, so that is a factor as well. You have to have some hookup to that, but the bid that I got that I was not able to use was $7,800, which is considerably less. So I'd love to see more people trying to do this if they can,
So, is there a way that we can see if it's an option to look at other contractor? Is there a way that we can get the city?
That's the thing. I'd love to know if that's a mandate from our engineering, or if that's an internal, I don't know how that works.
From our council?
Yeah, if that's a council recommendation, how that works, so.
Yeah.
Do you want to follow up with David Gilliam, see if he might?
Yeah, I can check in with David.
Yeah.
That's no problem.
Aaron, do you think that would be something that would be discussed at council, or is that something we should just follow up with David first?
Well, I'd have someone take point, find out the information, why is it, if it is a certain thing that, what if it's every municipality has to have a licensed contractor, and this guy's only licensed for this municipality? If that's the answer, then we need other contractors in the area to get licensed for this municipality.
Sure.
Like, if it's as simple as like, oh, this is just the guy we go with.
That's what that's the feeling that I understand, but I could be wrong.
So, I think that just as simple as the question of administration is like, why do we only go with this one contractor? Is it because of our engineering firm, or is it a preference, or is it something that we, 20 years ago voted on or something?
Sure.
I don't know that information off the top of my head.
Right.
But I think if you ask the administration, they will find that information for us.
Yeah,
And then we can present it and make a decision where to move on from there.
yeah.
So if action is needed or if we are unable to act.
I'll try to collect some more info on it and talk to David, and, you know, I'll say at best you can, or at minimum, I'll at least present on it here, so.
Would you have gotten, I think you would have gotten more signups for the SAD for the sewer if it was half the cost that,
Oh, yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
absolutely.
I mean, and at that point, I mean, if you're talking half the cost, there's a lot of other things you can think about, you know, in terms of how we can fund that kind of thing, so
Sure.
and I wonder, okay, this.
it's a positive movement.
I wonder why we can't put the grinder pump in the septic tank.
As opposed to the mushroom,
As
the green
opposed to
mushroom.
filling it in and digging a hole and putting a concrete base in it so it doesn't float up. Why not just put it in the septic tank? Big
Don't know.
savings.
Yeah, don't know.
Eagle has a list of the 158 contractors.
I mean, I have at least the one, so I'll start reaching out, and I can, Eagle's a good list, so
Yeah.
I'm sure I still have the contact of the one, so.
Forward to hearing your findings.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we added another item to continuing business, G, 10G, was that update on muck removal, but
I think I've covered it. I don't know, you know, we got 3 possibilities, 4 possibilities. And I published for all you guys, and for anybody who wants to read it, what I did. It's got a user's manual for how to do it.
okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, then I think the next, then we added also, under continuing business, the Open Meetings Act, is that next on the list? Yeah. So we received some communication with David regarding this, so I'll just read this so everyone's aware. So in general, the Open Meetings Act prohibits deliberation on matters of public concern by members of public body outside a public meeting. Members of the board can exchange information amongst themselves via email or otherwise, or receive information from non-members. However, what you definitely should not be doing is expressing any opinions or debating the merits on any given issue outside of the meeting via email or otherwise. And I think maybe that feedback we got from Jared from Progressive was
Right.
was contrary to the rules of engagement for the Open Meetings
All
Act.
right.
So
So, I think, to clarify, I think because he's not a member of the board, he expressed his opinions, and then we shared those publicly. I don't think we were in any sort of violation. Because Jerry presented information, Jared stated his opinion, but because he's not a member of the board,
That's
I think he's allowed to
Share an
state his
opinion.
opinion.
He could
And
do
then we
that.
shared the information publicly, so I think it was, everything was done the correct way.
yeah.
Yes.
So-
At that point, the Pandora's box would be if his response to the data that Jerry had provided initiated a conversation at that
Right.
point where we began to comment on, well, you know, Jerry from
Right.
Progressive,
Right.
you know,
If we discussed or
if we
entertained,
waded in.
then
Yeah.
that would have been a
Okay.
violation, but I think that, because no one participated in his comment, we were all,
We're all clean.
yeah.
Well, I'll
So-
try to quit being
So when Matt finds all this information, seriously, he can send it to us so that when
We
we come.
cannot discuss it. I'm allowed to
Yeah.
distribute information
Yeah.
without
Right.
opinions.
When we come to the
Yes.
meeting, we got
We can
something to
talk
look at.
about it,
Right.
yes.
Yes, then we bring it,
And that
then we bring it
helps.
to the
That's
meeting
helpful
for,
because
Oh, yeah.
we'll have it ahead of time. We don't
Yeah.
have to
right.
burrow through it.
Yeah, you can give us the pre-read, but the discussion will happen here
Yeah.
as opposed to on email or other.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was the kid that always took names in front of the class.
What'd you sign yourself, the spoil sport?
Yeah, the spoiled wet blanket.
Wet
That was the
blanket.
wet blanket.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And just One other thing, Jerry, I know you had asked about if there is a newsletter, we were,
Yeah,
news.
yeah.
So the village does have a newsletter, and they publish or post it 2 to 3 times a year. The fall and winter is on the website, and the spring and fall is printed and mailed out. And Jerry was just wondering, if we should have our own water management board newsletter, which I don't think we need to do. We can contribute to the council's
Okay.
newsletter if there's any information that we want to share with the village residents.
Good. The spring newsletter, we were limited to that much space in it. But it was mailed out, and Tabitha's reading, if you start putting stuff in here, the mailing cost goes way up. If you start putting papers in there, but if it goes out on email, no cost. Okay. But I feel that some of this stuff, I know I'm biased, but I think this thing about, this is how you can pull the weeds yourself, could go in there.
That's true. That's true.
But so maybe you can follow up with her to see what are the submission dates for those things.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we can see if we can contribute some of this information to the village newsletter.
Got it. Need a pen? Okay. We can start a column. We're all wet.
By Paul Snyder.
There you go.
Okay, if nothing
I like
further
it.
on that, we'll move to item 11, future business items, open discussion. Anything other than maybe reaching out to, getting some of those questions off to Progressive so that they can address them at the next meeting when they're here. So I'll take that on to get some of the, share some of those questions with them and not deliberate back and forth over what they.
Yeah.
They're gonna be at the next meeting?
Well, I'll check.
Okay.
Okay, 12, liaison reports, village council, you're up.
So, one nice little thing happening, you see the BMX track we built up there?
Yeah.
We are actually having a local contractor who's taking it upon himself, he's got all the equipment, license, all that. He's actually gonna modify it just a little bit.
Yeah.
So the kids were using it, everything, and they found out some of the distances for like where it first rolls in to where the first little hump, is a little bit too far. So they were like losing speed and not being able to get to the course. And then you see when it wraps back around, I want to cut it in. So what they're going to do is they're just going to move it. Again, it's on the contractor's going to do it himself, and he's going to be observed, and it's going to get double checked by the village engineer to make sure it's all safe. They're just going to adjust about it. So if you do see someone out there making adjustments, they're trying to just improve the ride quality of it too. So the track design, it was not like a professional competition. It was for fun.
Yeah.
Too, but we are finding that there's improvements that can be done, and members of the village are taking upon themselves to make it better with the coordination.
That's great.
So he's gonna help on their time and all that, just make it a little better. And then the kids are gonna, they're gonna use it, ride it, play with it, and then they'll tweak it just a little bit, and then once it's all done.
Is it getting utilized quite a bit?
It is, that's what I hear.
Yeah.
So people are loving it, kids are losing it. We're still trying to keep motor bikes off of it.
I was gonna say,
All that
that
stuff
could be
too.
Sure, after hours,
That could be a
people are pushing the
thing.
limits.
I'm sure, you hear about it, people complain about it,
I'm sure.
yes, but
some of those-
they're not allowed.
Yeah.
The electric bikes are not allowed, I
We'll
assume.
see, electric,
That's hard.
I know, it's a new world of technology, right?
Because they're pretty powerful, so.
The electrics are allowed. The motorized vehicles are not, as good an ordinance too. But yeah, as you know, like the electric dirt bikes and all that they're not scooters.
So those are allowed?
So, yes, that's current ordinance.
I guess I gotta get a new bike.
vehicles. So, but yeah, that's good there, it's improving, it's a nice little community project, kids loved it, I know, we took the kids out there a while ago too, and it was nice.
Gotta get my mountain bike and go hit it.
Hey, go for a ride, man, it's not bad.
I know.
You'll catch some
Where's
air.
that?
It's,
Is that Brisbane, Woodlawn?
you know where the tennis courts are? It's just
Yeah.
west of the tennis courts,
Yeah,
across the
next
street.
intersection.
Okay. Oh, across the, all right.
Check it out. So that's kind of a cool project. Pickleball courts, we talked about through here, something that Kraken came in through. The village engineer Powell too was all talking. They're trying to get the guys who prepare the court together. Mark Germaini is actually going to take kind of the council lead onto it, meeting with them along with the village engineer and David Gillum. They're going to all get together, inspect the courts and all that too, and measure it, see how deep it is. He can give us an idea of how they can improve the quality, or compare it to like, well, this little section right here, little spider cracks, which is going to happen with any paid service. Like, well, that's normal for any service too. Or if they are finding, there are some complaints of like some flaking. Instead of flaking, Goodard did say that they stand behind the product and all that, and they will take care of whatever is defective. If there is an issue, they will take care of it for
So
us.
there have been complaints about it? Is that what you're
There's been
saying?
a few.
Yeah.
Someone made a social media video a few months back, and it's kind of like a funny spoof, but it was like, hey, look at the cracks and all that. You're like, well, yeah, all pavement's gonna crack, especially when you had the, we patched it, right, by cutting out the big sections, and the transition in between those two is like, well, that's now the next weak point.
Yeah.
So the only way to really have prevented all this, and never permanently too, is having this engineered playing surface that has actual like tension cables going through it and holds it together, which doesn't stop the cracking, it just controls where the cracking would be. So keep it, on the sides
So
of
they're gonna have to tear them up and redo all this?
No, that's what we're doing. We're just talking about just a little touch up on top coating too. So,
Okay.
so if you see them out there too, people have concerns about the plate surface, there's issues. We are following up, and we're seeing if it's appropriate or if it is in need of some warranty work, if you will.
I don't know, but thanks to the village for putting those up, and that playground, that playscape they were, it's a lot of fun, that whole area is
That's
for
a whole nother
everybody,
park,
like
yeah.
kids and adults and everything, it's great.
Because I mean, I go to Tuesdays in the parks and all that,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
farmers markets are
Yeah.
rock and rolling. If you go out there, like Carmel was really turned into
Yeah.
kind of a whole community
Yeah.
attraction too, instead of just the park and
And the basketball courts were resurfaced too, it was nice, it's really nice. I see a lot of people over there, it's good.
Huge improvements. We're always trying to make things better. We know it's little tiny things, and there's small things we're just trying to make it improve. And the next one you guys are gonna like is we voted for a new sound system inside the chambers here. So new microphones, everything, new amplifier stack. They're gonna run the cords better. New speakers up in the ceiling. We've had multiple complaints of people can't hear us, all that stuff too. So we went out and we got quotes, and we found out the best system to choose from. New gooseneck boom mics and all and everything. So it's going to improve the quality. It's going to make some citizens happy who had some complaints, and we'll have nice new technology for
Are
us.
these plugs gonna work too then?
Yeah, they work. You just got to plug them into the ground.
Oh, okay.
So if you come in one day and you see this all new sound system too, that's
Great.
just improve the village. So
Cool.
Sounds good.
all right.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Planning Commission.
Yes, well, there was no planning commission meeting last month, and I received notice there will be no planning commission meeting next month. We have met our requirement for the amount of times we're to meet through the year, and with no ordinance or zoning deviation requests coming in, there's no real need to meet. We've no issues to discuss. so-
Sort of like our August meeting.
Kind of like our August.
Oh, we didn't have a quorum.
We didn't have a quorum. Yeah. So, no, there's nothing to report.
Okay. All right, item 13, comments from the board members. Uh-oh.
You live right next to the Greenway drain, right?
I do.
If you find out anything about it, let us all know, okay? Because that's another bad source of stuff getting in our lake.
I don't know, what would you like to know about it? I don't know much about it, other than that it's there.
I will eventually look into that because I talked to Mike Powell and he said there was a barrier, right? It's supposed to be a settling chamber. And something got knocked down, so the settling chamber's 2 feet shallower or something. And there was $30,000 allotted to improve the Greenaway drain by the village several years ago, and I can't find any. I haven't looked far enough, but I haven't found where it was spent.
So, you asked me about this once before, so I don't know what work was, approved, I guess, for improving the drain, but whenever I bought the property around that time, American Marine was dredging the Greenway drain. And I don't know what the, intended purposes were. I just know that they were doing that activity because it was right there.
When was that? 19-something?
2021.
2021. Okay.
So I'm sure if you, and again, I know the company, so if you probably followed that up with David, he'd probably know exactly what was done, I would think, and why.
Yeah, okay. Because, like I said, it does show up. I went through all these meeting minutes for a number of years, and Greenaway Drain shows up about every other one. Something wrong, somebody doesn't like something about it, something.
Put it on your punch list.
It's on it.
Okay. All right, if nothing else, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll move. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye. We're done.